Ho ho, Saber fans. Make sure I haven't missed any comments. Hey Ron, I don't know who else is on because I can't see anything, but welcome to the first edition of Megtooth Monday Live from the new location. And eventually I'm going to give you all a tour of the shop, but I'm still unpacking boxes, so it's kind of a mess. But at any rate, hey, Force Effects is live right now. Shooting the breeze. Sorry, I'm covering up Force Effects, Phones by Force. But this may be abbreviated tonight because I'm still unpacking. I have a lot of work to do. And my vacation was interrupted by Hurricane Isaiah. And it made getting moved rather difficult in the middle of a hurricane, as you can imagine. But on our last Megtooth Monday Live, I talked about some problems I had with DX Sabers. And I was trying to order this beauty. I'm sure some of y'all have seen that. That's LGT. That's the LGT Princess. And I've had the chassis for the Saber for some time, and I ordered the hilt back in May from DX and never got it. I kept emailing the guy, and he kept saying it'll ship next week. I mean, that's what he said every time I emailed him, and it never shipped. So eventually, I disputed the transaction with PayPal and got my money back. And then I posted in the Universal Lightsaber group. I was like, "Hey, where can I get the LGT PL Saber?" Because it's for somebody special, so I can't be too loud about it. But at any rate, they said, try Johnny Collado or Custom Dark Wolf Sabers. So I messaged Johnny, and he didn't have one. But he got me in touch with Rebel Sabers. And Rebel Sabers had an empty to send me, so I'll finally be able to install that special saber for a special somebody here before Christmas. So that's pretty awesome. We are in the new house. I'm almost completely moved out of the old house. Believe it or not, just yesterday, I got the last bit of furniture out of the old house. So, Hurricane Isaiah striking Wilmington. And by the way, if y'all didn't realize it, came ashore just south of me in Wilmington, and the storm was moving north. So we got the brunt of the storm here in Wilmington. There was a lot of damage. A lot of bad stuff happened nearby. There were tornadoes in the town just to the west of us here in Leland. And, we had a lot of trees down here at the new house. I had a lot of trees down at the old house. So I spent one day getting ready for Isaiah, and then 2 days cleaning up from Isaiah. One day at the new house and one day at the old house. So 3 days of, when we're supposed to be moving, I lost to the hurricane, which really sucks because I had every day planned out sequentially of what was going to happen. It didn't go according to plan, of course, which kind of left me in a panic mode trying to get moved before I had to go back to work. So I'm already back to work. Today was my first day back to work, and it was a doozy. Of course, Mondays are always doozies. But I came home to go live, and my computer down here, which I normally try to read y'all's comments on my computer, but it decided it was going to do a Windows update. Unauthorized. I did not authorize a Windows update. So I'm not quite sure. It's saying, getting Windows ready. Don't turn off your computer. And it's got the little things circling around. And it's been doing that now for 30 minutes. But I wanted to give a shout out to Custom Dark Wolf Sabers, Johnny Collado, and the Rebel Sabers for helping me to get that secret saber I showed you guys. That's going to be awesome. I'll show that in some more lives as I get it installed. And I already have the chassis for it, if I can find it. It's somewhere in one of these boxes. One of these. Once I get all this unpacked and set up, I'll give you all a tour of my new Saber studio, as it were. And it's a lot nicer than my old space. And I'm going to try to make more efficient use of my workspace. And, I've got a lot of ideas. So let me catch up on comments here because I'm not seeing them in this phone. Let's see here. Israel Forn, say Chet Osborne's in the house. Max is in the house. They're awesome, Max. Yeah, it's from the Rise of Skywalker, that hilt, by the way. Hang on that. Political ads are playing on my videos. I'm trying to get caught up to you guys' comments on my other phone. Let me get rid of that because double going there. And let's see, live chat. There we go. Yeah, it was Mike, it was a tough storm. Hey Rashimoto. Hey, thanks Fet263. Fet's on board at my new house. It's crazy. But yeah, that's the Rise of Skywalker Leia Saber from LGT for a special somebody in this house. Shh. They don't know about it. But at any rate, yeah, Rebel Sabers and Johnny Collado helped me out massively on sourcing that hilt. And I got the chassis from Robert Sotomayor a couple of months ago when I ordered the Saber. So it'll be ready to go right off the bat. So aside from that, what's up? Well, for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be unboxing and unpacking. My big priority is getting my workbench up and running. I am going to build that Saber and a personal Graflex before I take on any commissions. And I've got a couple of repair jobs to do. I've got a speaker that went bad and a soundboard that lost a voltage regulator on it. So I'm going to, fix those things. And I got a blade that didn't work and I got it back and it looks like the target tab's been removed and wires ripped. So the blade doesn't work when that happens. But I'm going to fix that blade and fix a speaker and a soundboard. But initially, I'm going to be working on some personal sabers, and then I have a couple of sabers for Hong Kong that I got to get ready. Thanks, Max. Yeah, DX was really bad. Hey, Kygrophonics in the house. Jesse Kirkbride's here. That's awesome. I'm glad to see all you guys. This is going to be an abbreviated session because I have so much to do. It's stressful. I don't like boxes. I'm looking around in here and it stresses me out, all these boxes. I've got 2 big pieces of furniture still I got to move into this room. And once I get those 2 big pieces of furniture moved in this room over there, I can display my lightsabers and get my books up on the shelf and start unpacking some of these other boxes. And I have my project boxes ready to roll. So, hey Rich, good to see you. But let's see, Ron Davis said, hey, was thinking they should post legit stores on open source. It would help a lot buying parts. These scammers put a bad taste in. Yeah, I mean, DX was the second time in my life that I've protested or disputed a PayPal purchase, and I use PayPal for everything. And I've never had any problems in the lightsaber community except for with SoCal Jordan on the Profi run and with this LGT from DX Sabers. I don't buy anything from DX Sabers. They're scammers for sure. I am still moving, Ron. I'm totally stressed out. But I needed a break from this stress of unpacking and boxing and moving and, the hurricane. And the hurricane was pretty scary. When it wasn't the worst I've seen, but it was bad. It was a lot worse than we were ready for. Because if y'all remember that Isaiah was, when she was offshore, she was a tropical storm, and we're like, we've been through Florence, Matthew, Floyd, Fran, Bonnie, Bertha, Dennis, whatever. Bring Isaiah as a tropical storm on, and we'll rake up some leaves from the yard and be done. And right before Isaiah made landfall, her winds ramped up. I don't know if the news is reporting it. We actually had 99-mile-an-hour sustained winds here on the coast. Not 15 miles south of where I live. And I actually live. My new house is right on the Intercoastal Waterway. I'm actually the beach is a mile that way. Straight out this window is the beach. It's about a mile away. By boat, the actual Riskey's Island that we go boating at is less than a mile from my house. So it's pretty cool to be that close to the ocean. But, when you live on the coast, especially here in southeastern North Carolina, North Carolina's got this little, and for those of y'all that aren't familiar with it, it's got this little tip that sticks out in the southeast corner, and it sticks way out into the ocean. And the climate here in Wilmington, North Carolina is actually subtropical. It's comparable to somewhere between Cocoa Beach, Florida, and Miami. We don't have much of a wintertime here. The Gulf Stream, which comes up south, which carries warm water, insulates our little peninsula here in Wilmington from winter. It very rarely snows here. If it snows here, it's a freak thing. Where, just 20 or 30 miles inland, it will snow, but it usually will not snow here in Wilmington. But the Cape Fear is awesome. But anyway, when Isaiah ramped up right before it made landfall, I was still like, we'll still be okay. It's Category 1, it was kind of eking up there to close to Category 2 land. And I was like, we'll still be okay. And then it came on shore, and we were in the northeast quadrant, which is the worst part of the storm, because Isaiah kind of came up the Cape Fear River, made landfall on Ocean Isle Beach in Southport, which took the brunt of the damage, and is bad down there. Looks like a wasteland down there. Whole marinas are up on shore, and houses are wiped out. But the worst part about Isaiah was she was whipping out tornadoes, and there were tornadoes touching down all over Wilmington and Leland, and the tornadoes did a lot of damage. We had some microbursts. I'm sure at my old house, it looked like there was a microburst that came down and wiped out pretty much our power grid at my old house. So power was out there for like almost a week. And in fact, power just came on at my old house. We only lost power here for about 13 hours or so. It was scary. I was going to go to bed and just sleep through the storm. And, that whistling wind, that whistling wires made a tattletale sound. And a wave broke over the railing. And you're like, wow, this storm is going to be for real. And it was. The good thing about Isaiah was it came in and hauled butt north. So it didn't last as long. Florence, for any of y'all that don't know, Wilmington, North Carolina was struck by Florence 2 years ago, and Dorian last year. And Dorian wasn't bad, but Florence 2 years ago was really, really bad here. A lot of flooding, a lot of death, a lot of destruction, and we're still recovering, as it were, from Florence. And this is 2020. Boy, can somebody, teleport us off this rock of 2020 and let's put it in the past. Oh yeah, thanks, Cole. I'm trying to get caught up on your comments. My computer's rebooting, so I'm having to read your comments on my phone. Bo Vacan's on. Bo. I didn't see the plug and play LGT. Yep, TCSS and KR sabers are reliable. Yeah, the gray paint's pretty awesome. I like it, Cole. Smooth Jab family, looking forward to getting the blade repaired. Yeah, I think it was damaged in shipping, Eric. The butt cap on the bottom of the saber was ripped off. It could have taken a really severe jolt. I mean, I glue those on, but it could have taken a severe jolt in shipping, and it ripped. The positive and negative and data wires were all ripped off, so yeah, it doesn't work. But I'll toughen it up for the ship back to you. I'll be able to fix it fairly quickly. Big holdup on that's going to be getting my soldering station up and running. It's all here. I'll show you, I'll briefly pan over to it. So here's the situation. Ugh. There's my soldering station, and everything's all set up and ready to roll, but I got no power. There's limited outlets in here, so I gotta get that going. Oh, you can see my sewing machine behind me. I put my sewing machine in the shop. That's where I sewed Kylo Ren, on that desk. So I made my own Kylo Ren costume, TFA, for the 501st Legion. I sewed it myself. That's what got me into saber building. But yeah, it's pretty wild. But as soon as I get my station set up, I should be able to fix that blade in maybe 20 or 30 minutes, Eric, and I'll see what kind of blade stock I got. I may not be able to build you another blade right now, but certainly I have some 7/8 stock, and I could probably build you one. I almost think if you want another 7/8 inch blade, let me order some more clear stock from TCSS and let me do you a clear one, because you have a trans white, and that way you can have clear and trans white and see which one you like better. I'll talk to you more about that offline. Yeah, Oak Island and Southport really took a hard hit, Ken of the Hill. Southport's really bad. Oh yeah, the pixel strips. I don't know Mad Matt stuff. You're gonna have to ask Cal that. I think they're actually they're denser than 144 per meter. So whatever density they're at, you're gonna have to set your header at that, I would imagine. I don't know. I haven't messed with them yet. Probably message, or they won't let you post that on open source because they won't let you talk about neopixels on open source, which is crazy to me, but when in Rome. Butt cap. That's what I call them. The butt caps on the heel of the saber, which is the plector pixel connector. I call them the butt caps. You got your tip and your butt cap. And the butt cap has all the connections in it to the neopixel strips through the TCSS connector. Yeah, looks like Rashi bought strips. Oh, and Rashimoto just said set your header to 264 per meter. So at the top, you want it set to 264. That's crazy. It's 264 pixels per meter? More, that's can't be right. 264 per meter? That's insane. Cole's going to be quiet, Cole. Get back to the treadmill. We all know you're putting in your steps or your miles. 34 inches. Oh my God. That is insane. 264 pixels per meter. Cal's going to make bank on that deal. You know, I remember when Scott DeBoer built his IntelliBlade, and I had an IntelliBlade, and it was really smartly laid out, and it really looked like it was genius. And I think had it worked, had they really delivered what he designed and built initially, I think it would have been very similar to what Cal's done here. I think it would have been That is insane. Oh, they're both in series. So 264, so you got 132 on a 34-inch blade. So it's not that much more dense than the 144 per meter. They're still pretty relative. I thought it was 264 per meter. I'm like, how in the hell did you do that? That's awesome, Rashimoto. I can't wait to get one. Unfortunately, when Cal released those, I was in the middle of my move, but I'm quite sure if they're successful and there's good feedback, Cal will probably order, a continuous stock of those pixel strips. And I imagine if they're that successful, I would imagine TCSS will pick them up. I don't know if y'all know this, but actually there's a guy in England, and God, his name's escaping me right now. But he actually got MR foam to Cal. And Cal basically duplicated the Master Replicas foam. And that became V2 foam from the Custom Saber Shop. Basically, the Custom Saber Shop was buying their foam from Cal, or Cal sourced it for them, or Cal's involved in the Custom Saber Shop's inventory of that V2 foam. But I would imagine that if these strips are successful and they make making NeoPixel blades easier, which they will, then I would imagine that Cal will. The guy's a freaking tycoon, isn't he? Cal Jerome's just super smart. Cool, Michael Kelly. Glad my tutorials help. Israel, probably 2021, I think would be a safe bet, and that I might start doing commissions again. And I think I'm only going to take commissions off my YouTube subscribers. I'm going to get rid of the lottery, and we'll just do YouTube subscribers. And, we'll do a special video, and, whoever comments in that video and they're ready to go to build a saber, we'll make it happen. Yeah, I think I saw your post, Michael Kelly, in open source on that. Nothing in open source is proprietary, as it were. That blade style that I use is the turbine effect. I can tell you that it's basically a color cycle, and it's a color cycle that has it has off behavior. So I programmed it to have off behavior as well. So it's got a slow color cycle when it's off, and then when you ignite the saber, it speeds up to where it almost looks like it's solid on. Outside of that, I typically haven't really been too public about that blade style because it's kind of, I think, unique to my builds. So sorry if I don't share that one. And we've talked about that a little bit before on these live videos. Yep, Kyberphonics is on. Kyberphonics got some great sound fonts. Sith, Fonts by Fours. Unfortunately, I think my live video covered up Fonts by Fours live video, and he hasn't been live in a while, so that's tough. But I just wanted to say hey to everybody. I'm still alive. We lived through the hurricane, and I'm unpacking, boxes everywhere. I should show you all a brief. This is my nightmare. Boxes everywhere. Everywhere there's boxes. Boxes. You see all my posters over there that'll be set up in the room here shortly. Some of my lightsabers are up there on display. My Kylo helmet's still not done there. Got 2 big pieces of furniture to put in there still, so we're working on it. Oh, Space, you super chatted me. Space Window, what are you doing? Not supposed to super chat me. Thanks, though, Space. It's really appreciated. Mike Kenderschmidt came up with a cool way to use an unbent coat hanger to pull my strips through the foam. Worked really well. Bend it a little, help spread the foam and push the strips through. Yeah, you never want to, when you're putting strips into a blade, you want to try to get them in there without forcing them in. If you're forcing the strips into the blade, what happens is, because the strips, are flexible, they'll kink. And if you have a kink inside of your blade like this, like it's all flat except for that place where it kinked, that kink is going to actually be closer to the edge of the blade. And when that kink is near the edge of the blade, you'll get really bad corn cobbing right there in that section. So part of the big secret, or the big important factor when you're building a blade, is to have your neopixels all perfectly straight and perfectly centered within the blade. If you have any kinks at all in your strips, you're going to have problems showing in your blades. So pushing your strips in is always bad, but if you can manage to find a way to pull them into the blade, that's good. My initial blades were all way too tight. I had way too much crap inside the blades because I was worried about diffusion. And, I actually took wire and ran it down into the blade and tied the wire. I always put like 10 extra neopixels on my strips, and I would tie the wire around the back-to-back neopixels, where the wire was really tight around the strips, and I would use that wire to pull, that crap, the bundle into the blades. But now I'm doing them a lot different. And thanks, Space, for thinking about us. We got hit by that storm pretty bad here in Wilmington. I think y'all were doing a live video during the storm, and I didn't catch the live video because we were getting hit by a hurricane. Well, Michael Kelly, and I don't mean to be a jerk about it. I told you how to make it. It's a color cycle, and it has off behavior as a color cycle. I think if you can do that, go on the Saber Effect page, where you design your own blades, and start working on a color cycle blade. There's no big secret in it. I mean, I shared you how I did it, but the blade style itself, make it. Yeah, I think you can make it happen. Challenge yourself. I think that's part of what makes it better. Mad Matt Stuff says he loves Kyberphonics Flame Font, and he put Metallica's Fuel. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ooh. Yeah, that's awesome. But wow, we've been on almost 30 minutes. And are your side quillions removable on your Kylo Corbanth? Yeah, now I don't have a Corbanth anymore. The only Kylo saber that I have is, where is it? Oh. It's still the same. Ooh, it's still the same lightsaber that was in my videos. This is the saber that I troop with, and this is the lightsaber that went viral on my YouTube channel. It was about the most viral video there was, and this is powered by Teensy Saber, and this is a BS. This is not a Corbanth, but yeah, the side quillions are removable. They have, blade retention here and here. But on my Corbanths that I did build, but they're all sold off, they did have removable quillions. They were 7/8. I honed them out to 7/8. Oh, I built 3 crossguards Rashimoto. I did build 3 Corbanth crossguards, but I sold them all. But yeah, they all had removable quillions. 2 of them were honed out to 7/8. Mike Perez and the one I sold outright were honed out to 7/8. One of them was kept stock at 3/4, but still used the Proplicators quillions in them. But the cool part, I mean, I don't have time to take the saber apart. Sometime I will and show you guys the guts on the inside of this. But this is a very custom Black Series conversion of the BS saber. Now this is my trooping saber, so that's why all the paint's worn off it, because I'm always holding it at troops. But this is very custom. This has a 26650 battery in it and a homemade chassis that I made out of aluminum tubing. And the Teensy Saber V3 is actually on a Lego hinge, so it actually hinges up out of the chassis so you can plug into it and reprogram it. But this is still powered by Teensy Saber, And I'll show it real quick.
Initializing. Access granted. Weapon is armed.
There's your delay. Teensy Saber. Still relevant. It runs all the same effects that Profi does. Yep, that is, the funny thing is Kyberphonic, the crossguard on that saber was the experimental crossguard from when Sith was first messing around with Smooth Swing on Teensy Saber, and that's still his original experimental crossguard font on there. I've left it on there for history's sake, and that's the first preset on that saber is the experimental crossguard by Sith when Smooth Swing was in its infancy. And that saber right there was really the first saber to really demo for a lot of people to see what Smooth Swing was capable of. So that's why I've kept that Black Series saber. I mean, the Black Series, it's humongous, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's good in my hand, but you know, if you're a small person, the thing is humongous. It weighs a ton because it has a 26.650, and it also has my custom aluminum pipe chassis in there, which maybe next week I'll show that thing. I'll tear that thing apart so you guys can see the inside. When I installed those BS sabers, I did two of them. I did one for me and one for Mike Perez. I was in my infancy as an installer, and you know, those were the first open source sabers that I ever installed. Was this one and the one for Mike Perez, which he sold off last year or the year before. And then I built 3 of the Corbanth crossguards. I did not keep any of them. And I have the KROR crossguard here to install. And I still think I'm going to troop with the BS, believe it or not. Still love that BS saber, the Black Series Kylo Ren. And it works. It works for trooping. It's a cool saber. And if it gets damaged, I don't care. You know, whereas if I installed a KROR and had a high dollar paint job on it, and I trooped with it, and some kid's whacking on it, you know. Willie J, the new place is much better than the old place. Every time I look around in here, I'm still in shock that I live here. It's very nice. It's a nice house. Glad we made it through the hurricane. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy here. But I don't want to stay on too long tonight. I got to get back to unboxing and unpacking. So hopefully as we progress here, I'll give you a tour of my new workstation. And, you know, maybe a little tour of the house. But we got to get it unboxed first. I mean, it's a mess. There are boxes everywhere. It's a nightmare. It's bothersome to me. But behind me, my new workstation, I'm going to have a better organizational system for my tools and wire. The wire in my old room, I had to hang it on the back of a door, and you guys never saw it, but you would see me get up in the tutorial videos and hear me get distant. That's because I was walking over the door to cut wire. But I'm actually going to build a wire box and have the wires protruding from it. I'm going to be using pegboard and plywood to build that. And I'm going to attach it to a piece of pegboard that I'm going to build a pegboard frame. And then I'm going to put pegboard clips in it to hold my tools so that all my tools aren't on my desk unless I'm using them. They'll be up on the wall. And then I'm hoping that I'll have some, you know, some diagrams, the ones that I refer to constantly, posted up here on the wall too. It'll definitely be my workshop. So I'm really looking forward to getting all this unpacked and set up and working properly. It's pretty exciting. And if y'all tune in next week, hopefully we'll have some more progress. Maybe we'll tear that 26.650 apart. Yep. Thanks, Cole. I'm glad y'all are still safe. Hopefully Cole got some entertainment while he was getting his workout in, and he's going to be doing a special video about butt plugs. What did I say? Butt plugs, butt plates, butt bottom. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Nerd up, everybody. Hashtag nerd up. May the force be with you all. And hopefully we'll still see you next week. Is it Graphics just for sale? No. The Graphics sold. Actually, the purchaser of that saber, I still haven't gone and edited the title of that video, but it is sold. The ESB Graphics is sold. And in fact, the owner was on here a little bit ago posting. So we'll see you guys later. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully, unless the end of the world happens. And thank you all for tuning in. And hopefully we get this LGT Leia thing going here. I get my workbench up and going so I can get all these repair jobs done and sent out so that way I can concentrate on my Graphics. That's going to be an awesome install with Goth 3D's full metal chassis going in that. His Mentor chassis, Mentor V2. So it's going to be a really awesome chassis. I'm excited to get that going. But thank you all, everybody, for tuning in, and we will check you all out next week. No more apocalypse. Bingo. Yeah. I'm glad that hurricane's behind us. Everybody, thoughts and prayers we don't get hit by another one. But 2020 has really bit the big one this year, big time, between everything that's going on. So everybody try to stay positive, try to stay happy, and ignore all this other crap going on in the world because it's just scenery. It's just scenery. May the force be with you all, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Peace be with you.